He entered a mysterious American forest where the ocean meets endless darkness. An abandoned lighthouse, a ghost ship hidden in the fog, and a village that disappears by sunrise. What really happened? Watch until the end to uncover one of America's most chilling mystery stories. The Last Lighthouse Keeper of the North Sea. A light beyond the endless sea. Welcome, dear friend. Tonight, the sea is calm. The world behind you can wait until morning. There are no busy streets here. No glowing screens. No hurried conversations. Only the gentle rhythm of waves meeting ancient rocks, the distant cries of seabirds, and the steady light of a lonely lighthouse standing faithfully above the North Sea. Take one slow, comfortable breath, then another. With every gentle exhale, allow the weight of the day to drift away, as softly as mist floating across quiet water. Now imagine yourself traveling many years into the past. It is the early years of the 20th century, long before satellites guided ships, long before modern navigation filled every bridge with glowing instruments. Out here, far from the mainland, one simple light could mean the difference between a safe journey and dangerous rocks hidden beneath dark waters. That light shines before you now. The lighthouse stands upon a rugged island of gray stone, surrounded by the endless North Sea. Its white tower rises proudly into the evening sky. A black lantern room crowns the very top, where its great lens slowly turns. Every few moments, a warm beam of light sweeps across the sea, then darkness, then light again. Steady, patient, faithful. Small waves roll gently against the rocks below. They are calm tonight, carrying the scent of salt and fresh sea air. The breeze is cool but kind. It brushes softly across your face as you step from a small wooden boat onto the weathered stone landing. The boatman smiles warmly. Tomorrow he will return to the mainland. But tonight, the lighthouse will become your home. A narrow stone path climbs slowly toward the tower. Tiny wildflowers somehow grow between the rocks, adding touches of purple, yellow, and white to the rugged island. Seabirds glide effortlessly above the cliffs. The evening sun hangs low above the horizon, painting the sea with ribbons of gold. At the top of the path, an elderly lighthouse keeper waits beside a sturdy green door. His wool sweater is faded from many winters. His weathered face carries gentle smile lines earned through years of quiet living beside the sea. He removes his cap and welcomes you with a warm smile. There is nothing hurried about him. His movements are calm, measured, like the turning of the great lighthouse itself. Inside, the lighthouse feels surprisingly cozy. The walls are thick stone. The rooms are simple. Everything has its place. A small kitchen smells faintly of fresh bread and warm tea. Nearby, a cast iron stove glows softly, filling the room with jitter warm. A polished wooden table stands beside a round window overlooking the sea. The keeper hangs his oil lantern near the door. Golden light spreads quietly across the room. Outside, the waves continue their peaceful rhythm. The sound never truly stops. The flame suddenly disappeared. At that exact moment, a cold wind rushed through every broken window. The entire lighthouse groaned. Outside, the ocean had vanished beneath an ocean of white fog. Ethan looked down toward the shoreline. Someone was standing there. A tall figure wearing an old raincoat, completely still, watching him. He raised his camera. The figure disappeared. Thinking it was only a trick of the fog, Ethan descended and followed the path toward the beach. The sand was untouched except for a single line of footprints leading toward the forest. He followed them. After only a few minutes, the footprints stopped, not faded, not washed away, simply ended, as if whoever made them had vanished into thin air. Evening arrived quickly. Fog drifted between the trees like slow-moving rivers. Ethan realized he should return before darkness. But every trail now looked different. The forest seemed to have rearranged itself. Tree after tree looked identical. Hours passed. Night arrived. His compass spun in slow circles. GPS lost signal. Then, far ahead, he saw a warm orange light. Relieved, he hurried forward. Instead of another camper, he found an entire abandoned fishing village hidden deep inside the forest. Small wooden cabins, an old church, fishing nets hanging exactly as if people had left only yesterday. Yet everything was silent. Every door stood slightly open. Inside one cabin, a fireplace still contained fresh-looking ashes despite decades of abandonment. On a dusty table rested the journal. Most pages had faded. Only one sentence remained readable. When the fog comes from the sea, do not follow the lights. Asterisk. As Ethan finished reading, a glowing light appeared outside the window, floating gently between the trees. Then another, and another. Dozens of pale lights drifted silently through the forest. They moved slowly toward the ocean. Something inside Ethan told him not to follow, yet curiosity pulled him forward. The lights floated without sound, between giant trees, across moss-covered stones, past forgotten wells, until the forest suddenly ended. Before him stretched a narrow beach beneath towering cliffs. The lights drifted out across the ocean, then disappeared beneath the fog. For several long moments, nothing happened. Then the sea became strangely calm. The crashing waves stopped. The wind vanished. Even the stars above seemed unusually bright. Out of the fog emerged an enormous old wooden sailing ship. No engine, no sails moving, no sound. It glided across the water like a ghost. Every lantern aboard burned softly, yet not a single person stood on deck. The ship drifted silently past the shoreline, then slowly dissolved back into the mist, as though it had never existed. Ethan stood frozen. The waves returned. The wind returned. The ship was gone. When dawn finally arrived, the fog lifted. The abandoned fishing village had vanished. Only untouched forest remained. No cabins, no church, no journal, no footprints. Even the path back to the lighthouse had disappeared. Hours later, Ethan finally reached the main road. The nearby villagers listened quietly as he described everything. An elderly fisherman nodded slowly. "My grandfather told the same story," he whispered. "They say the forest remembers everyone who enters, but only sometimes allows them to remember it." Years passed. Ethan never returned. Yet every autumn, when heavy sea fog rolls across America's northern coastline, satellites occasionally capture something unusual for only a few minutes. An old lighthouse appears where no lighthouse officially exists, and offshore, a faint outline of an ancient wooden ship drifts silently through the mist. No one has ever explained it. Perhaps it is only weather. Perhaps it is an illusion created by fog and memory. Or perhaps some places between the forest and the sea choose to remain mysteries forever. If you ever find yourself walking through an American coastal forest where the waves seem louder than the wind, and if you see a warm light shining from an abandoned lighthouse, you may want to keep walking, because not every path that begins in the forest leads back home.